rapping, not rap bitches, and making bed hope. Yeah, glow. Alright. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is sabriyahnettles. Sorry if this is the first introduction to me. I don't typically look like this, you know. I kind of was like laying in my bed and I seen this video and I was like, okay, I think I'll just watch that because I was gonna watch it anyway. And also, I know there's a whole documentary about, you know, what's going on. It's called Quiet on Set. My sister's been watching it and they was like, oh, you should watch it, And I was like, I really don't want to. It's like, it's always, I really don't feel like it, like watching all that shit. Like, I need something simplified. If it's not something that's like a quick little 10-minute video, I don't want to watch an hour-long thing. I think this might be something that's talking about the situation. Like I said, I don't typically look like this. I'm chilling. Like, I was literally laying in the bed. Yes, I have on pants. Like, not pants, but shorts and stuff like that. So I'm not without clothing. But yeah, I just was like, let me go ahead and watch this and react to it. Because, yeah, it's been a lot of fucked up shit going on. I've been seeing a lot of fucked up videos. Just like the people from Nickelodeon coming out and speaking out about their experiences and stuff like that. I'm glad they finally can say what the fuck they need to say, because I know them folks been kind of like, I don't know, it might have been, you know, things that they had to sign, or just like, I don't know, weird shit they had to do where they can't talk about that type of shit. So I'm glad they're able to talk about it now. And if this is that, then if this is them, you know, or it simplifying the, hold on, shit. If this is simplifying what was that whole documentary, then I'm cool on it. I'm cool. We can watch it. Okay.
I think it's safe to say that this has not been a great week for Nickelodeon. With the release of the next documentary, Quiet on Set, or, you know, you just watched the whole thing on Twitter with Trick and Josh funny moments looping in the bottom. Judge. It exposed a lot of people out there to the horrific reality that is child stardom, delving primarily into the career of Dan Schneider, a figure that I've talked about in this channel before.
That fucking piece of shit. Hold on now, what's going on?
Focusing much more on his creations rather than the man himself for obvious reasons. It's an eye-opening
Is this nigga in jail yet?
The 90s and 2000s.
That's my question.
I've never really been one of those people who argued you couldn't separate the art from the artist, but it's hard not to admit that while watching it, it made me seriously reconsider how I felt about some of my favorite series growing up. And while this is mainly stuff that we
like, is he in jail? Has he spoken out?
In relation to Dan Schneider, whose name has been a mere punching bag for almost a decade now, I think this being the first wide-scale publication of something like this, released in a format that people are obsessed with right now, is what's resulted in this resurgence of people finding out about this stuff for the first time and calling for the man to be put in prison. Which,
like,
listen to, if John
so
Kennedy gets into prison and there's no way in hell Dan will, the most you can do is just keep him as far away from children's entertainment as possible. Because they really go into a lot here. His creepy, overprotective nature over his cast, the treatment of them as if they were adults and not in such formative years in their lives. Although I have to wonder why the documentary never brought attention to those weirdest
like weird. Like, why are you touching a little girl like that?
We're saying something provocative.
I heard you swallow.
Sometimes I do it to myself.
I don't want to get blackballed. How bad do you want this?
As a kid,
and that
I
was
just
even
thought
crazy.
It was funny they were saying random.
No, I didn't think it was. I knew they were saying. I knew what they were saying, and I knew it was supposed to be, you know, like that. But you know, we're young and we just like, oh, like, you peep it, but you know, it made you kind of feel like you was watching like something a little bit more adult. Cause you got it, you get. Well, I mean, I don't know how old y'all were when Victorious and iCarly and all that stuff came out. I was well, when iCarly came out, I was a kid, like, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. My chair don't be comfortable sometimes. It's cause it's so small. I need to get a bigger chair. Yeah, I was a kid when iCarly, you know, Drake and Josh and all that stuff came out. Yeah, I think I was in 8th grade. You know, around that 8th grade, high school, you know, just going on high school and shit like that. And I knew what the fuck was going on. And did I think it was weird? Probably not. I didn't think it was weird. I just knew it was like, oh, it's like they're sneaking in some adult shit. Like,
got me thinking. Beyond the allegations and truly abhorrent events that transpired as a result of their poor management, isn't it just weird in general to think about how irrelevant Nickelodeon has become within the last decade? In the 90s and 2000s, they were unavoidable. It was strange for a kid to not be watching Nickelodeon. I would be so pissed off going to a friend's house and saying they didn't have cable. Where's the SpongeBob? However, nowadays, if a kid said they still regularly watch the channel, my only response would be, what though? What are you watching, Baby SpongeBob? Live-action Lincoln Loud? What are you, stupid? From taking even the quickest of glances towards my channel, it's fairly evident that a lot of the programming Nickelodeon has produced over the years means a lot to me. It's one of the only things out there I find the ability to be nostalgic towards. And so in a way, it's sad to see that the company responsible for creating some of the most influential material.
Why is he always touching them? Stop fucking touching these young-ass kids. Weird-ass nigga.
And so today I wanted to spend some time talking about it. Not only why I think the company has gone so downhill from a juggernaut of children's entertainment to something I wouldn't want within a 10-foot radius of my kid, but also I want to highlight why it did have such a stranglehold on so many kids at one point. And so with that, let's talk about the downfall of Nickelodeon. But first, speaking of tonal shifts, this video is sponsored by Wartha. Crap, here look. Obviously, Nick's decline is a result of many factors. The company has become less and less culturally relevant for much longer than just when all this Schneider business came to light. The main reasoning, obviously, being the fact that kids are much more interested in watching shows on their phones and iPads rather than on televisions.
Right.
Even Nickelodeon shows with re-uploads gaining millions of views, but of course that doesn't help the main issue, which is the network suffering. Cable just isn't that popular anymore.
It's not. I don't even watch
TV. In
TV.
favor of signing up for a couple streaming services.
Like TV.
And unfortunately, it ain't the one Nickelodeon is on. Paramount Plus is a terrible app. It's got a horrible interface, there's barely anything to watch, and overall it just runs horribly. I've been trying to watch through Danny Phantom on there for the first time in the past couple weeks, and it's really opened my eyes to how awful that service is. It's just always buffering, and it isn't a problem I have with Netflix or Max, so I have to assume there just isn't enough money being put into the servers. And so when watching shows or even just navigating the menus, you're constantly met with lag. It is abysmal. But why should they put more money into it? Their subscriber base is already miles below their competition despite being around for a couple years at this point. No amount of charming crossover commercials is helping the fact that Paramount Plus simply doesn't have that much to offer. And it seems Viacom have become aware of this too. Because when checking out Netflix recently, I've begun noticing that way more Nickelodeon shows have begun appearing back on there. Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, Drake and Josh, a lot of popular series are now all
But are
available
people
to watch on a
watching it,
streaming
though?
service that isn't owned by Nick's parent company, and I think that's incredibly telling. The only Nickelodeon things worth getting on Paramount Plus seems to be the stuff that isn't popular enough for other services to want to buy the rights to.
Right, like nobody's really
which they've
checking for any of these
massive marketing
things.
push into, seemingly being one of the only reasons to get Paramount Plus. Because in reality, what does Nickelodeon have now? Bad reboots of their more successful shows from their head
They don't have shit.
Spin-offs to said successful shows.
I don't think I know one Nickelodeon show that's out now. I think, Nickelodeon definitely fell off. I don't know nothing that's going on. The Pachter show, when I heard that came out, I said, all right, now, just stop. Let that whole SpongeBob, just let it go. Let it go. Because then you do stuff like this and you're going to ruin the whole legacy of the fucking show. Nobody's checking for anything on Nickelodeon. I don't think nobody's checking for anything on Disney anymore. I don't know about Cartoon Network that much. I haven't heard nothing new. I mean, if the only thing I know that people will like make memes about of Cartoon Network is Gumball, Amazing World of Gumball. There's some regular show memes. There's also some Adventure Time memes. But other than that, I don't know any new shows that's on Cartoon Network either. I'm just not knowing if kids are even watching kids shows anymore. Like, I have nieces and nephews. I don't know. I mean, I think, my niece, she likes some show with some girl. I don't know her name. Lala or something. I don't know. It's something like that. But that's on Disney. So, something about, I don't remember the girl name. It's a black girl. It's a little black girl. I don't remember her name. But she watches that. She used to like watching the Miraculous Ladybug show. But other than that, I don't know what kids are like watching. And I don't think TV has doesn't have a hold on the youth anymore. I remember when we was younger, we used to like wait. We used to wait for certain shows to come on. When we would wait for certain movies to come on, we all, like me and my sisters, we would all sit at the table. I mean, sit at the couch. We would watch TV shows together. I don't think kids are doing that anymore. Maybe it's the phone thing, this whole phone thing, iPads and stuff like that. I don't know. But it's just not the same no more, and that's so sad.
Or the occasional new cartoon thrown in.
Like, what the
that
fuck
only
is
manages
this?
to run for a season or two as all the wind is pulled out of its sails in favor of promoting the CM3 SpongeBob cartoons. SpongeBob, Lighthouse, Rugrats, Fairly Odd Parents. That's all there is to Nickelodeon now on a cartoon level. Rock, paper, scissors on the surface
Like,
level
literally
seems
never
like a
heard of
horrible
this.
idea, but upon seeing clips of it, it actually manages to be pretty funny. But that doesn't even matter because I'm sure half you out there watching this thinking, what the fuck is rock, paper, scissors?
Right.
I suppose, first of all, it's important to highlight why I think Nickelodeon was such a triumphant force in children's entertainment in the first place, to directly contrast as to where they are now and how they lost their way.
Yeah,
And to
like,
me,
what
at
the
least,
fuck is
it came
this?
down to three main
Like,
factors.
at this point, just let it go.
One, a lack of
You
competition. In
reanimating
regards to
shit.
cable channels focused on animation, there were the big three: Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and Nickelodeon. With Nick being in an incredibly lucky position where when it premiered it only had to really compete with Disney Channel.
Right.
And with them advertising and making their entire personality around being something new, different, and edgy, it gave them the perfect opportunity to gravitate kids' attention. Especially once they started their own original programming. There was something so cool about Nick that almost made their competitors seem more lame in comparison. Why watch Mickey Mouse when you could watch Ren and Stimpy? Reminds me a lot of the Sega versus Nintendo stuff that was happening at the exact same time. Wow. For me personally, I was glued to Nickelodeon 95% of the time as a kid. The
I
only
loved all
Disney
of
cartoon
them.
I had any interest in was Phineas and Ferb, and I kept confusing Cartoon Network with Boomerang and assumed they just played lame old people.
I was like, damn, what Disney show cartoons were we watching? Damn, bro. It was more so the live action shows we really wanted to watch on Disney Channel. I can't really remember any animated Disney shows. Proud Family. Okay, Proud Family, Kim Possible. Okay, it's starting to flood back to me. Damn, I'm thinking, yeah, just Proud Family, Kim Possible. Shoot, I don't know. I can't really think about it, but Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network definitely had that. That's what they were. That's what they did, and that's what the fuck we was there for. Nickelodeon had both cartoons and live action. So yeah, and Cartoon Network had OP shit too. So if I could choose one network to watch like forever, and then the rest have to go, they don't exist anymore, I don't know exactly. Am I speaking for me as an adult, or am I speaking for me as the kid? I need to speak as the kid, because what was really like, we was like, oh, we gotta watch this. I feel like it was Disney. Like, me and my sisters, we were glued waiting for Disney Channel shows to come out. And then not only were there shows, we're waiting for the new episodes of shows, the movies on top of that. Me and my sisters, we didn't really sit and watch Cartoon Networks together. I was more so watching that by myself. We weren't really sitting and watching Nickelodeon shows together. I was watching that by myself. So the nostalgia in me, and that feeling of like watching it, sitting down and actually watching it with my sisters and my cousins and stuff, that is definitely Disney. So I would say I would choose Disney, the kid in me. But as an adult, I would say Cartoon Network. There's just more stuff I like on there, like as an adult, than I liked as a kid. But still, some of the stuff still holds up.
People shows. And so Nick kept all my attention. 2. Nickelodeon was fun. They prided themselves on being a network for kids by kids. Of course, that wasn't true, but it's the image they successfully gave off to their viewers.
Because
Showing kids
SpongeBob
the stuff
had
they wanted
grown
to see,
folk shit
mainly focusing
in it
on
too.
gross art and stuff more relatable to them. Not only through its programming, but just the network as a whole had such a fun vibe to it. The unique bumpers and advertisements, you had Nick.com and magazine, which made Nickelodeon something you could follow along with, make it a part of your everyday. Now, of course, a large focus of this was for money-making purposes, making sure your kid always had another opportunity to support the company, but they made doing that engaging. Sadly, the magazine industry is something that also suffered from the rise of the internet. And along with that, folks have become much more accustomed to getting their entertainment from the same 3 or 4 social media websites. I can't imagine many kids today seeking out the current Nick.com.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff outside of their control.
Because they also used to be, I don't know if y'all remember this, I don't know how old y'all are, but they were also, like, on each network, there were games. If you go on their website, there were games. So on Cartoon Network, there was games on there. There was games on Nickelodeon, and there was games on Disney Channel. I mean, on the Disney Channel website and stuff like that. I remember on Cartoon Network, I used to play Billy and Mandy, the Billy and Mandy game. It was like a Halloween game or something like that. I used to play that game. And I remember on Disney Channel, I used to play this Zack and Cody Sweet Life on deck. Not on deck, the Sweet Life with Zack and Cody game. Those are the only 2 games I remember playing on there. But I know we was on there playing those games. That shit was fun.
Shame. But unfortunately, this third factor was mainly a result of poor management. 3. Nickelodeon had good shows. Dated in a lot of cases, but the simple truth is, Nickelodeon used to stay up to date with a consistent string of quality cartoons, usually releasing 2 to 3 new series every year.
I remember Invaders.
Not all of them were hits, but at a certain
What
point,
the
they
fuck
were
was
releasing
that?
at such a rate that there was always something to look forward to. And at least every now and then, when they did release a piece of shit, you at least had confidence in there being one show
Avatar,
you wanted to watch on.
my favorite.
You know,
Y'all can't see some of the other
half an
wall.
hour of mediocrity
I have a
against the
poster of
stuff I
Avatar.
wanted to see, or I don't know,
That's
kick
my
a ball
favorite
outside.
cartoon.
Then sign me up for Fanboy and Chum Chum. Let's go. I'll power
Hated that
through it.
too.
This time, 20 years ago, Nickelodeon was getting ready to release Danny Phantom.
Love
one of their
Danny
most
Phantom.
iconic series of all time, with the character still being remembered fondly to this day. So much so that it was recently continued in graphic novel form. What is Nick putting out this year? Well, again, Rock, Paper, Scissors. A show that, again,
they're really banking
seems
on this
alright.
shit.
But I think it's safe to say that it is not going to be anywhere near as well remembered as the stuff they used to put out.
Right.
Let me tell you something about
Not to
Nickelodeon,
mention-
and I won't let them censor this.
And a big part of that is on their marketing. If a show doesn't become an immediate hit like SpongeBob or Lighthouse, then it's not running for more than 2 seasons. Other than those 2, every original cartoon currently airing on the channel is only in its first season, with the rest being nothing but toy tie-ins like Transformers Earthspark or Monster High, or spin-offs and crappy
Not they're
movies
trying to
like
use
Rugrats or
fucking
Ken Coral. Stuff
toys
designed
and
for
shit
the sole
to
purpose of keeping a
engage
franchise
the
relevant with
audience.
something new and exciting.
Like,
So it
stop
doesn't just seem as if
reanimating
they've been putting
shit.
all their attention into
Like,
the same 2 shows
stop.
for the past decade.
Stop
Which they
redoing
have.
shit. Stop
Okay,
reanimating
and there's Big
stuff. Like,
Man.
leave it alone.
Seems fun, but It's Pony, Middlemost Post, Rise of the Ninja Turtles,
What
all
is all
cartoons
this?
where, by the time I finally wanted to check them out, they were gone. It's a tired opinion, but really, SpongeBob got too big to feel. It seems like more often than not, the higher-ups only put these other shows into production to ensure their investors that they're more than just the SpongeBob channel. Oh, but that's to ignore all their fantastic live-action programming currently airing, like The Really Loud House, Tyler Perry's Young Dylan, Aaron and Aaron. These solo acts have to band together. Why does every kid's sitcom have to be about music? Also, that's it. I just named you every series that is currently airing, and I only knew of one of them that even existed
Loud
before
House.
5 seconds
Wasn't
ago when
it
I looked this up. Other than that, we're rapidly
cartoon
approaching the
advertisement?
horrifying concept that is the era of 2010's nostalgia. I mean, we did just get the amazing comeback to the hit 2013 series, The Thundermans.
Okay.
Kill Me. Something I've been talking about a lot with my friends recently is the idea of suffering for art. Like, Dan Schneider is evidently a pretty terrible human being, but let's be real.
Need to be in
he made
jail.
some good shows.
Okay.
Not just
Yeah.
for kids either. My grandmother would watch iCarly and Drake and Josh with us and keep up with the plot points. There was something about his humor and style of comedy that just appealed to people.
So this
At the
man
very
wrote
least,
all
in a way,
those
it didn't come off
those
as if it
shows.
was talking down to its audience. Do these shows, being so iconic and well remembered, justify that? No, not even gonna.
Exactly. I was like, what?
The world could have survived without the Amanda Show if it meant these kids didn't have to be emotionally abused on set.
Right, and so
My thought
fucked
process
up.
always comes to the fact that these people talk about
Mentally
Dan's work while
fucked up.
ignoring what he was producing before getting fired in the kindest way possible. I wish YouTube would give me a $7 million check when I decide to stop uploading. Henry Dean's your game
Right,
show.
how the fuck is that a
Animated Henry Dean.
punishment?
I grew up watching Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, even Sam and Cat for as briefly as it aired.
Never
I could
watched
tell
Sam
by
and
the time
Cat.
this shit aired,
Didn't wanna.
I was disinterested. He'd lost his touch. I also don't find it to be a coincidence that Nickelodeon only decided to get rid of the man when he stopped bringing them hit shows. But to come back to the topic of
They
Dan
fucked
choosing
up
not
too.
to talk down to his audience, I really think that is the main factor as to why his shows were so popular. But also, what truly marked Nickelodeon's downfall. And it's that they lost sight of their target demographic. Kids. Growing up in this era, it felt like Nick and Disney Channel were always having such a pissing match with each other to see who could produce the more popular sitcom. And more importantly, who could appeal most to the frightening demographic that is teens. Nick completely rebranding in 2010 to remove all the fun and charm from the presentation in favor of something sleeker and more cool. With the vice president at the time claiming it to highlight a new focus for the network. And it's no secret what that new focus was. Disney had struck gold with Hannah Montana. And with that, Dan eventually tried his hand at his own teen girl who sings sitcom. Literally every single kid's sitcom under the sun at that time tried to make their character a singer, even though it had no basis in the pre-established setup. Wizard, Sunny with a Chance, even iCarly for a little bit. After Hannah Montana, however, it seemed like Disney had lost the marathon. None of their sitcoms reaching anywhere near the success of Dan's, apart from arguably Wizards and maybe Sweet Life on Deck, but I'd argue that was a massive downgrade compared to the original. They still had successful shows.
No, I
don't get
still
me
like
wrong. I
Sweet
remember
Life on
Austin
Deck.
Alley sticking around for a while. But it definitely
I
seems
briefly
like
watched
Nickelodeon's
Austin
attempts
Alley,
stuck
but I was
more
kind
with
of tapped
kids.
out.
And
I was in,
ironically,
like, high
I think
school at
that
the
came
time.
down to the adult nature of it. Tweens are in that awkward stage where they want to seem older. They don't want to be seen watching SpongeBob, but they also still
No, I
watch
didn't give
Nickelodeon.
shit.
And so Dan had creepily perfected the art of pushing the boundaries for what was acceptable for kids. Just enough to appeal to them. It made Victorious and Sam and Cat especially seem so much older and more mature compared to your average kid's
What about
sitcom.
Zoe 101?
Sam and Cat literally had a fucking Breaking Bad parody and they got away with it. Why? Because Dan could do whatever the fuck he wanted. Are they really gonna question him? Nickelodeon worshipped the man. But as a result of that temporary success that couldn't be replicated after the man clearly ran out of steam, what was Nick left with? Their tween audience has been alienated because they don't want to watch a show about 4 annoying kids becoming millionaires through making Pro Jared's new favorite app. And kids who just want to see cartoons don't want to watch live action stuff, with a majority of Nick's animated material moving over to the much less popular Nicktoons network. They relied so much on Dan Schneider that once they were put in a position to let him go, they had nothing left, except for SpongeBob and Linking Loud. And so now, here we are. Nickelodeon has never been more relevant as an entertainment
Even
company.
Michelle had to deal
Disney
with this
Channel
shit.
at least still creates cartoons.
I
that
did
people are
like
interested in
Amphibia.
watching, that they bother to at the very least promote. And Cartoon Network,
I liked Amphibia.
well, okay, Cartoon Network's a story for another day. But they've done irreparable damage to the reputation, and I'm not really sure how they can fix it apart from completely restructuring. But maybe that's coming sooner than we think. Last year, Nickelodeon rebranded to reincorporate the colors and abstract shapes that was once iconic to them. It certainly looks a lot better than this. And who knows
Yeah,
if
like,
this is due to
did
a
y'all give
genuine
a fuck
attempt at
anymore?
showcasing
Probably
them
not.
shifting focus back to what made them so successful in the first place, or perhaps it's just trying to capitalize on nostalgia. But for their own sake, I certainly hope it's the former. Because I love Nickelodeon. It's something incredibly important to me. I'll never forget going to my
Currently?
great-grandmother's house after school and doing my homework while
Or you
watching
loved
Cartoon Network.
Nickelodeon,
Getting so
that's the
excited
thing.
for summer approaching with them airing the schools.
I
on TV.
loved
Or
Nickelodeon. I
sitting up
loved
late at night with my
Disney
sisters
Channel. I
laughing at
loved
reruns of the
Cartoon
Amanda
Network. I
Show
do
with
not
Drake and
now.
Josh. Watching the Kids' Choice Awards every year and being blown away by them integrating and interconnecting their cartoon series with the live action.
Yeah, that was cool.
At one point, Nickelodeon just made me happy. And I
You
hope
make
it can
me
continue making kids happy in the
happy.
future. But I suppose
I
only time
doubt
will
it,
tell.
bro. I
Subscribe
think
if
it's
you wanna.
done.
I'm depressed now.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's kind of like, I think just TV in general is just kind of going downhill. Like, nobody's watching TV anymore. No one's watching cable anymore. Like, these kids, they're, especially with their attention spans, they're so, like, now, they don't even want to sit and watch a 20-minute long episode. Barely 11-minute long episode. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's crazy, bro. I think it really is these phones. I don't know. Well, Dan Schneider, I still don't want to watch that damn Quiet on the Set thing. I just know he did so many fucked up things, and I'm not in the mood to be upset about some shit, angry as hell. Because I'd be angry as hell, like, how the fuck has this man gotten away with it and no one's done anything? Like, that type of shit just kind of boggles my mind a little. It's like, y'all sat here and just allowed this man to do this to kids, and just nobody just had a fucking moral bone in their goddamn body, like, at all. Alright, y'all, I'm kind of tired. Like, I know my energy seemed kind of low. It's 10 o'clock. I worked a 9 to 5, you know, so I'm a little tired. I'm a little eepy, so sorry if my energy is not up in this video. It'll be better in the next one. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I do a lot of different reactions. If you want to recommend me something to react, you have to be subscribed to become one of Sabria's children, because only Sabria's children can recommend me anything. I don't listen to anybody else but Sabria's children. That's about it. I'm just gonna post this. I don't really feel like editing it for real. I just want to get it out, get it away from me, and go about business. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for how I look. I promise you, just not me all the time. I'm chilling right now, and it's okay to chill. It's okay to not be all beat down, laid down to the gods all the time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys later.
And she watch anime. She got the whole package. When I'm with her, we be making magic. While I'm going berserk in the guts, I'm fighting demons night to night. I'm feeling like guts. These niggas before the not really about it. These niggas a bust. Getting the money is never an option. This shit is a must.